champion. They're the floor competitors again. You must fancy Boginskaya there, Monica?
Well, I do fancy her to win, but I don't think she's the best. I really think that, again, Yang Bo, if she hits everything, whilst her dance is not to the quality of Boginskaya's, I think her tumbling is so much better than Boginskaya's that that could qualify her for the gold. Silivash's course is in with a chance. Bontash, she's already scored the 10 on floor. Dudnik, a classy performer. So in short...
Well, that just shows how spoilt we are for choice. Wonderful quality all the way through at these championships. Eberhard Ginger, the West German head judge on the high bar, with Feng Shibai. The two of them in charge of this final.
And high bar, for me, the most thrilling of the men's pieces. Women's floor, I think, upstages men's floor purely because of the beauty and grace involved and the musical interpretation, which adds another dimension to it. But men's high bar, thrilling.
Well, the 3-minute warm-up finish bell goes, but the men, in fact, still have 2 to go on the high bar. The girls, though, ready to start. And first up on floor, Cristina Bontash from Romania.
Oh, that was a nice opener. Double back straight. She had an extra bit of adrenaline there. Really lifted it well.
Oh, this is lovely stuff. Pull in, back out, and she works out of it and goes back on another run, finishing that with a double tuck back. It's only a very few years ago that we were thinking it was something very special if we saw a double tuck back somersault in a woman's routine.
Brilliant work there from Bontash. She tried extra hard on her tumbles. She knows what she has to compete against when the Chinese appear, because their tumbling is extremely tight. And I think, John, that was the tightest I've ever seen Bontash's tumbling.
I've certainly got to agree. The opening tumble, the double straight back somersault. This is it coming up. So tight. And she landed it so beautifully. Just a little adjustment backwards. Really, I don't think I have ever seen her tumble that well.
And this tumble too, other than the last quarter of the somersault, that was the tightest I've seen her full in back out. And then working almost out of it into the flick star jump.
Cristina Bontash.
Final run, and the flick-flacks, they're the speed-building movements. There's the whip-back, that's a flick-flack without the hands. Then the double back-tucked, high, well-lifted, the landing not spotted, the lunge out of it, designed for safety.
And Cristina Bontash, not 16 until December, 9.962. Two tens in there, the Belgian judge and the French judge. The others all 9.95. Apart from the first judge who gave it 9.9. That goes, so does one of the tens, and then the other four averaged.
New face to the individual finals, Vladimir Novikov from the Soviet Union. He didn't make the individual all-round final because he wasn't amongst the top three Soviets in their team, and only 3 are allowed from each country. Brilliant stuff. 2 catch-evs straight into a Ginga. That's 3 release and catch moves under his belt.
Goes round into the eagle grip, the invert, and a triple dismount. And he looks really disappointed that he had to just step backwards. It was by no means a terrible mistake. But so confident was he of that move that he considers that attempt given away that was unnecessary, perhaps.
And he was very widely split with his legs on the dismount, and I've seen several finishes tidier than that, but there's no criticism on these catch-evs. Coming in with lovely straight arms, indicating good timing. Not such a good recatch there.
Well, I think we might forgive that on the third consecutive release and catch.
Yes, John, it seems cruel that we highlight all the little faults, but of course that's what differentiates between the winners and the losers on the medal tables. The dismount lovely and high, but he really needed to get hold of his shins rather than his kneecaps while he was spinning.
I think why he was so disappointed, he got so high on it, and by cowboying it, by putting his legs around the side, getting the rotation over so early, he had plenty of time to reach out for the floor, and he still got it wrong. He was definitely hoping, having got that height, he'd done the hard work to stick the landing and not move at all. Ginga and Feng Zhibai. I think we better start a little bit lower, says Eberhard Ginga. If that's the best, so be it, but I'm not too happy about starting very high. I'm sure that's what he was saying.
This is the disadvantage about being first up. 9.850. Good score, first position, and now to floor. 1989 all-around world champion Svetlana Berginskaya. And I think nobody can fault her dance. Even the facial expression matches. But let's compare her tumbling to some other tumbling. Pull in, back out, kite. That was beautiful. One and a half twisting walkout, double twist. Not a very highly rated tumble. High, very well controlled double back. Double pirouette. That was the last spin before she dropped to the floor, which is a C element and hard to produce last.
Berginskaya going through that exercise so beautifully. She's 162 centimeters tall. Now you compare that with the 146 of Yang Bo or the 147 of Chen Kui-ting, and you can see how in the dance elements she's always going to have much more grace than they could possibly ever get.
And she is tumbling at her best today, but it'll be interesting to see where the judges draw the difference. For me, the dance is unsurpassable. And the judges thought so too. A 10 for Boginskaya, 1995 from France, but that goes out because of the majority of 10s.
So, Boginskaya, sure of at least a share in the gold medal, but the standard of this floor final is so high that she might well not have it to herself. Andreas Wecker, he's already got a silver medal in these apparatus finals and a bronze medal. And this, his favorite piece of apparatus. He is one of the most spectacular workers on high bar that the world has ever seen. If he gets it right, then we could be seeing the gold medalist on this piece. He's the European champion, won that last May in Stockholm. Here goes. The Stoller circle, the straddle backwards and giant. There's the Kovac. No, is he going for another one? Yes, he is. He's added that in. Kachev. One arms. The difficulties following hard upon each other. Squats through. Now the invert grasp that must be shown in the exercise, and the triple dismount, and look at that. Quite the best I've ever seen him perform it. You could compare there, Monica, the difference between the triple somersault and the one that we just saw from Vladimir Novikov. They weren't in the same class. Wecker, legs together, much better.
Yes, the dismount worlds apart, absolutely worlds apart. It's very cruel that you could even find criticism with something as brilliant as that. Here's the first Kovac, and a couple of giants to wind himself up into the magnificent second one. There he goes, and his timing is immaculate.
To show how much the other gymnasts think of this guy, it was, to me, intriguing to see Novikov queuing up to shake his hand as he came off the apparatus, as if to say, well, I've got a long way to go to get with you, pal. Eberhard Ginger, the head judge, a real stickler on his judging. And if anybody's not going to give 10s, it's going to be Ginger. But just on sheer content, getting through it all with no major faults, he's going to find it tough not to with Wecker.
Well, I think the only grounds that they could deduct any marks is the fact that he had his Kovac's. They were great moves, the only man in the world to do two, but he didn't have two big release and catches linked absolutely together.
Totally impassive face, Eberhard Ginger. And they've gone really quite low, 9.787. Well, they've seen something in there that I haven't.
Well, I think it's the Kovac as he's performed before. He had his legs split and he didn't have big release and catches directly linked. Alessia Dudnik from the Soviet Union to floor.
Two and a half twists in there, and coming out of it exactly right to keep working.
Another fantastic routine. I wouldn't be at all surprised if history was made in this women's floor final, because the quality and the quantity of the work is so magnificent that we could get a few tens. We could have that gold medal being shared more than a couple of ways.
One thing's for certain, the Soviets have, since the last championships, really worked hard on their choreography, Monica.
Yes, they've gone out of their way to be different. Now there's a slight flaw. She was split-legged coming in, but I don't know how many judges would see that on the angle they sit at. But their choreography is certainly very, very unusual, catering for the individual style of each and every gymnast.
Yes, and that floor picked up 9.95, and now the disappointment beginning to show that she might go out of this championship without another gold besides the team one. I'm just thinking back to that Becker exercise, Monica. I'm not so sure, thinking back, looking where the mistakes could have been, that he didn't get himself into trouble right at the very beginning. He seemed to swing a little bit long before he got into his big moves, and maybe there was an extra swing there.
Toshihiro Sato, the first of the Japanese challengers on high bar. Japanese getting 2 men into this high bar final. Now there are 2 direct combinations. Stoop through, dislocation of the shoulders. Hop half change. Full twisting double back straight. Hesitation on landing, but certainly packed with a lot of quality.
Toshihiro Sato from Osaka, 20 years old. There you can see very clearly the 2 twists. Having to make a major adjustment, though, on that landing. Seeing it the second time, there's me saying you can see very clearly the 2 twists. Second time I only saw 1 twist. "170 centimeters tall, 61 kilos, ideal for a gymnast. Got a team bronze in the Seoul Olympics, and he's a university student at the Nihon University. Kajiyama, his personal trainer.
And a very patriotic man from the looks of things. His favorite food is Japanese food, and his favorite music is Japanese music. And so he'll probably listen to some music and have a Japanese meal tonight after the competition.
Und hier die Wertung für Toshihiro Sato aus Japan ist die 9,762.
9.762. And Novikov still the leader at the moment. Now, has Yang Bo put the disappointment of that beam final behind her? Here she is with another chance.
where she came to grief in the earlier rounds on the double pirouette.
Well, not quite the best double tuck-back finish that I've seen her do.
The tumbling and the technical expertise is wonderful, but it's really an age inadequacy. She isn't mature enough to express the dance as well as some of the senior gymnasts. So I think for that reason, and a little short on the last tumble and the first tumble, she won't be amongst the medals, but wonderful work, wonderful potential.
She'll mature later. I mean, it's hard to realise she is, in fact, the same age as Boginskaya, but there is that tremendous difference in height and tremendous difference in maturity.
Yes, and each routine suited each individual. I could hardly imagine Yang Bo producing a routine like Boginskaya's. But lovely technique, lovely extension of the legs, tight body shape in the twists.
Well, certainly somebody to look out for. It's been an almost there, but not quite championships for Yang Bo. And Svetlana Boginskaya signs yet another autograph.
It's a good job they asked her when she'd finished her floor routine and not before. Otherwise, they could have well had a book thrown back over the balcony. Boginskaya is very single-minded before her events, but now she'll be relaxing. She knows she's got a gold in the bag. She just doesn't know whether she's got it all to herself. Yang Bo, a fair score, 9.775. Really wasn't 9-9 material.
Curtis Hibbert to the high bar. The best gymnast Canada have produced. Didn't make the top 36 on this occasion, but he's spectacular on this piece. One arm into the Kachev. The Ginga. Won a silver on this piece in the 87 World Championships. So he's been here before. Full twisting double back.
Really going for moves within his ability and to suit his style. It swung nicely. Tremendous size, man. Very, very stocky. Not too tall, but 167 centimetres. 72 kilos, though.
Yes, and that's getting on the heavy side. He was actually born in Jamaica, but emigrated to Canada. This is where he gets his difficulty in. One arm to the Ginga somersault. Lives in Downsview, Ontario.
And he's appeared in quite a few major championship finals. Was 6th in the Olympics on P-bars, 7th on high bar, and 8th on floor. Legs nice and tight. That was a beautifully timed full twisting double back. Lovely release time and not any major body adjustment coming into the floor.
He's at York University. So he lists his favourite meal as hockey salt fish, whatever that is. and he can't stand country music. Vladimir Novikov in the lead at the moment. Will he still be when the score for Curtis Hibbert comes up? Hibbert doesn't appear to have the amount of difficulty in his exercise, but the gymnasts only have to fulfill enough to get them a 10. So it's one of the problems. They don't have to go way beyond and have enough to score 11, which some of them do.
That's right, and by doing the extra movements, they incur greater penalties. So sometimes the gymnast might have 5 Ds in his routine, and on 3 of the Ds he might split his legs. And I think really this is where Wecker lost out. He had big scoring tricks, but he had his legs wide apart on them, and he got punished for it.
9.825 goes into second place. In the medals at the moment, Curtis Hibbert, we've still got 4 finalists to come.
Milena Madrovdieva from Bulgaria. Just on the outside of the floor area. Milena was 8th in the European Championships on floor. Nice combination there. Front somersault, stepping out with one leg, so we call it a walkout into the Arab Spring flick double back, and now a nice dance series. And definitely out of the floor then. Well, Mavrodiyeva really coming across on 2 tumbles. The first one debatable on the line, and the last one most definitely out, and she knows it. Very dejected look from her.
And you could see it the moment she set off on that final tumble run, put everything in together. This the first one. Well, I didn't see a flag, but that doesn't mean there wasn't one, and that was so close she might have just got away with it. She's actually got to have some contact outside the line. And look at the travel on this. You could see it from the moment that she took off that she was going forwards or backwards at too great a distance.
Bulgarians, good reputation on the floor on European and World Championships, but Mavrodiyeva really living on the reputation of the team rather than on her present form. Bulgarians in good shape at the Olympic Games, but really not holding their own as well as they did in this championship. With the retirement of Boriana Stoyanova and Diana Dudova, no real big stars to lead their team.
Been a tremendous championships for her. Borginskaya, the all-round champion of the world. And now she's added to that the floor title. And the longer it goes on and she looks out there and sees people making mistakes like Mavrodiyeva, the more it looks as if she'll have it to herself.
And notice that she was eating a piece of apple, not a cake or a biscuit. That's how she keeps that good physique.
Mavrodieva very disappointed at those tumble runs. Really got herself charging forward on that final one. Just a bit too hyped up for it. She knew that she needed to give it everything to complete the full in back out, the twisting back somersault. A penalty of 0.1 you can see on the screen there for going out of the floor area, and the score 9.825. Vladimir Artyomov to the high bar, and now we've seen Vecker. The more I think about it, the more I'm sure Vecker did make a mistake right at the beginning of his exercise. Here's a challenger now. He would expect normally to overtake Novikov.
Went well and smartly, but I think there'll be better than that to come. Short in difficulty for Artyomov.
Quite surprising there. Artyomov has never favoured the release and catch moves a great deal. Here's one of his superior difficulty moves, though, the one arm to Kachev and then straight into Ginga. But from there, doesn't put another release and catch in at all. Goes for complicated changes in hand positions during the giant circles. And then for that beautiful dismount. Again, by present-day standards, not that difficult, this dismount. But he does execute it wonderfully, doesn't he, Monica?
Oh, yes. It's, I mean, the pure height of the move. He does 2 somersaults straight above the high bar. And that takes absolutely critical timing and an immense amount of strength when he's landing, because the body weight is multiplied. The force of the body weight is horrendous coming into the floor, the higher the dismount is.
Leonid Arkiev. It's a generally very contented Russian men's camp, isn't it?
Yes, I think they've got over their hitch earlier on in the day, but Arkiev seems quite pleased with Artyomov's routine. And Artyomov did have complicated hand changes at the end.
Yes, 9.9 he scores. He got the difficulty in with 2 Ds because he put the one arm to Kachev, to Ginga in, and 9.9 his score because you really couldn't fault the execution of it at all.
And from China to floor, Chen Qiuting.
That's how many tumbles you can put across a floor when you're only 1 meter 47 centimeters tall.
And this really does suit Qiuting. Tight tumbler, knees and feet stuck together as if they've got a bit of glue on them. Under-rotating her landings fractionally. Some excellent tumbling, but unfortunately hidden in the middle was quite a nasty error. did a double pirouette and dropped onto the heel 1.5 times round, so she would lose the value of that element. But Yang Bo, really delighted for her teammate. They're such good friends, it's wonderful to see.
The whip somersault, back into flick-flacks, and then stacks of speed to get the height to put in the full twisting double back somersault. Plays piano, does little Chen Kui-ting.
And if I was to say that I could fancy somebody for a medal, this would be the man. Yukio Ikitani, the Japanese high hope. And whilst Vladimir Artyomov is in the lead with 9.9, Ikitani is certainly capable of catching him, if not beating him. Good work, full twisting giants there.
Catches in combination. Lovely variety. It's good to see a high bar, like I said, a tremendous dismount.
Well, I think he could equal Artyomov. He had 2 little faults. He had a stoop through and back to handstand in the middle, and he just fractionally bent his legs when he stooped his legs through, and then that little jump forward on landing. But miles more content than Artyomov.
Extends those catch-ups beautifully, really swung them, has to be dead right in the first one to get into the second one. Both re-caught with straight arms. And a little mistake there on the landing. 9.912 Chen Kui-ting's floor. 4th place at the moment.
Meine Damen und Herren, am Boden aus Rumänien, Daniela Silivas.
Well, it would be a great day for Silivas after so much disappointment if she could come back and take 3 apparatus gold medals. She's got 2 already, and she must be in with a chance on floor of equaling Boginskaya. Slammed that. Full in, back out, down. Absolutely right.
Well, I think she's just said goodbye to the 10. She did a double twist, rebound, punch front, and was in problems, really, trying to walk out from it.
And the trouble is, working back across the floor, she was so offline it exaggerated it.
Yes, it might have only been picked up from one judge, but there too, we'll just have to wait and see. But the dance in between the tumbles is so beautiful and complicated too.
Well, a lovely exercise, apart from that one little bit in the middle. Now, it just depends how they saw it. Boginskaya looks at it as if... I think she actually liked Silivas's floor exercise.
Oh, yes, I think she appreciated it. I think she was saying it was nice, but also I'm sure that Boginskaya has got the gold to herself.
There, the whip, flick-flack, flick-flack, building up the speed again. Pull in, back out. She was spot on with that. The crowd trying to whip up the judges towards a 10, but hope we get a chance to see this second one. Here it is, but she's got a 10, I've got to tell you. A 10 for Silivas.
And that's the stress point into the walkout. But the judges didn't think that was enough to dock her, and so she shares the gold medal with Svetlana Boginskaya. And Boginskaya not too impressed.
Silivas in total despair. 2 days ago, the ultimate title of all-round champion eluded her again. Gives Octavian Belu, the other Romanian coach, a kiss over the top of the barrier. Yukio Ikitani scored 9.875 for his high bar. Takes him into the silver medal position at the moment. This is Shaba Fajkuj now, 7th to go of the 8 finalists. Well, you won't see a more difficult combination, but he paid the penalty. It looked as if he'd succeeded, but he took too much out of the swing and rhythm and couldn't keep the exercise going. Oh, he's got some tricks in here. When this all goes together properly, double twisting, double back, he was going for everything. So many mistakes, but worth looking at just because of the content. You could almost say that's a routine of the future, Monica.
That was some routine. Such a pity it didn't come off. But he blew it. He stopped on the top of the bar and lost 5/10, and then just sneaked his fingers down to support himself on the landing.
This, the full twisting Ginga somersault done at an incredible height, and then going straight into another one. Kept it going, but then just as he wanted to work up through the upstart, hadn't got the rotation to keep it going.
And a full twisting straight Jaeger.
Und hier die Wertung für Csaba Fajkus aus Ungarn, 9,237.
And he came off pretty well there, considering 9.237.
There's the man in the gold medal position. He knows he's got no threat coming from Shaba Fajkuj.
Choi Gwang-hui from Korea, North Korea. Only Korean in this afternoon's finals. Oh, and she really came to grief. Built enough speed from the flick-flacks, but just landed all fours. That's 5/10 away for her. And another 10th because she went out of the floor. Some beautiful work, just not quite ready for all of this difficulty. Suiting the change in tempo, and then up tempo again for the final tumble. Wang Hui really is going to be a star of the future, but putting in more difficult tumbles than her strength permits her to cope with at the moment.
Five different countries represented in the floor final. And it's very good to see countries like North Korea making such strides forward that they can compete with the best. she makes that diagonal across the floor look as if it's about 100 meters long. She puts so many tumbles in there.
Yes, the flick-flacks do serve to build up speed and then transfer that speed into height. But her angle of attack from the flick-flacks must have been totally wrong, because she died. But we've seen some wonderful floor exercises in this individual apparatus final. They really have been so close to each other.
The last exercise still to come in the men's high bar. But Fajkush scored 9.237 for that exercise of his, full of very difficult skills, but didn't get them right on the day. And that is what the individual apparatus finals are all about. Going for everything, and somebody like that lady, Svetlana Boginskaya, will get it right on the day and produce the superlative moment in gymnastics. Choi Gyong-hui's day probably still to come. The mark only out of 9.9, remember, because she put her foot out of the 12-meter arena. And Lee Chunyang, the man who pulled out of the parallel bars final, probably because he's carrying a very small injury, and with 2 consecutive finals, didn't feel he could cope with both.
Yes, or on the other hand, it could be a tactical move, because he wanted to put all of his eggs in one basket, and he feels that this is his very best piece. Wonderful forward 1.5 piked to reverse catch. And that is magnificent work. Yes, he could well have pulled out of the P-bar final to really go for gold in the high bar.
Oh, and a tiny step forward, but it was only a tiny one. Vladimir Artyomov sitting there looking as relaxed as anything, but he must be a little bit worried by that one. The score, Artyomov's score, 9.9. So can Lee Chunyang get himself a gold medal right at the very end? Lovely move and superbly worked. Keeps wonderful form throughout. The shape from that angle on the camera clearly seen.
He really did go for some perfect shapes. Building now up to the dismount. There's the full twist in the straight double back. And he's done it! 9.950, he takes the gold.
.9, the lowest score. All the others agreed that it was only worth a .05 deduction. He gets the gold medal. Lee Chunyang at the death takes it away from Artyomov. He takes silver with 9.9, and Yukio Iketani from Japan takes bronze. On the floor, Daniela Silivash and Svetlana Boginskaya share the gold medal with those 10s, with Kristina Bontash 9.962 taking bronze. That's it from these World Championships. From all of us on Eurosport, we hope you've enjoyed the coverage. From me, John Taylor, and Monica Phelps, goodbye.